So like I was saying, I was saying that when the sample is large, or as the sample gets larger, the data tends to behave normal or close to normal. Okay? Close to normal. Normal distribution. Let me show you the picture of a normal distribution.
Like a hill.
Like what?
I say it's like a hill. It will.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the
Bell
way
shape.
it's built.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. Bell shaped. Like a bell, turned upside down.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you know that. So yeah, so that's the normal distribution. That's how the normal distribution is. Since you are very much remember that, let's forget it and move on. Now, the implication of normal distribution is that most of the data concentrate at the center. Is that right?
That's true, sir.
Okay. So that means around the center, which is around the average, is where you have most of the items occurring. Okay. Let's say, for example,
Yes. Yeah.
like for example, you take the height. Let's look at like the height, a distribution that indicates the height of students in a school. Okay. Now, or let's say the height of male students. Now, that distribution, you see that most of the average, when you take the average height, you see that most of the students have heights close to the average. Is that clear? That's what the normal distribution is actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That is it. Okay, so we do know that we can use Excel for our statistical for analysis. Excel is commonly very popularly used for data analytics. Okay, although it's simple but very useful. Very, very useful. So like we already agreed, we are going to do a little brush up, a review of that. Some things in Excel, it's the most important stuff before we move on to R. Okay, so now, okay, before we talk about Excel specifically, there are some things, there are some topics that are very important. Okay, as far as analytics, let's take Excel for instance. When you want to do analysis in Excel, there are some topics that are really, really important, which you should have at your fingertips. Okay. Now, looking at Excel, number one, pivot tables. Do you remember pivot table?
Yes, sir.
Pivot table is a very important topic in Excel because it is commonly used to summarize data in a very informative way. Okay. Extremely important. One of the most important topic for you as an analyst. Okay. Very, 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 very important. Of course, you should also be able to work with statistical models in Excel. For example, you should be able to compute things like correlation. You should be able to do regression analysis. What else? T-tests. ANOVA. And so on. Okay. Even chi-square tests.
Chi-square.
Okay. Yeah, you should be able to play around with some of these models in Excel. In Excel, they are quite simple. Even in R, they are simple as well. Okay, they are quite simple. So you should be used to them. You should be able to work with them. Okay, so yeah. Of course, before then, it all starts from descriptive statistics anyway. Okay, like mean, median, mode, range, and so forth. Okay, so of course, I believe you are used to this. Mean is simply average, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you use the average function to compute mean in Excel. Median, there's the median function, which gives you the median. There's the mode function. Okay. When I say there's median function, what do I mean? You just simply say equals median. And then you highlight the items you want to find the median. Okay. Yeah. And then there's standard deviation, right? Standard deviation. Okay. And when you look at it, it can be std.p or std.s. S means sample, P means
Okay.
population.
Population.
Yes. Okay.
So what about this one?
Which
Standard deviation is without the P and without the S.
Yeah, those ones, they are just there for backward compatibility. So don't bother about,
Okay.
bother using those ones. They put those ones there
Okay.
for people who are used to the old Excel.
Okay.
So these are the two you should.
The main ones are the population and sample deviation. Okay.
Yes. These are the two you should just focus on. Not these ones.
Concentrate on.
Yeah, not all these. You see this one?
Okay.
You say available for compatibility with Excel
Yes.
2007 and earlier for old Excel.
All right.
So all these ones, don't leave all these ones.
Yes.
These are the two you should concern
Okay.
yourself with. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you can also find what have we said now? We said you can find standard deviation. What else? What is it that is related to standard deviation? There's a statistic that is related to standard deviation. Which one is that? You remember? That's variance. Variance. Remember that?
Okay, variance.
Yes.
Yeah.
The square of standard deviation is variance. Okay. In Excel, to do variance, just equals var. Use the var function. And again, you can use var dot population or var dot sample.
Okay.
That's for variance.
Okay.
All these items here, okay, these items are called measures of central tendency. These ones are called measures of variability or measures of dispersion. Okay. The range is simply the maximum minus the minimum. The maximum minus minimum. That's the range.
Minimum.
That's the range. Is it clear?
Yes. The last three,
Yeah.
range, variance. You said they are measures of
Measures of you can call it measures of dispersion
rela uh,
or measures of variability. Exactly. While these ones are called measures of, you can call it measures of centrality or measures of central tendency. Exactly. Exactly.
okay,
Okay.
variability, dispersion. Okay.
There's another type of measure. Can you remember anything about that? We have measures of centrality. We have measures of I don't really think it's like you started that class a bit late.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't.
I wasn't regular.
Yeah, okay,
I was not regular.
that's true.
Uh,
Oh, I remember that's true. Okay, so there's measures of centrality, there's measure of dispersion. Measures of centrality, they tend to measure how data converge at the center of the distribution. Okay, that's why in your normal distribution, usually you have the mean, median, and mode all occurring at the center of the distribution.
at the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. While measures of dispersion tend to measure how data is spread, how the data spread from the
The
center.
spreadability.
Yes, how spread it is,
Okay.
how it spreads. Okay. So when your standard deviation is high, for example, you see the data distribution will be wider. But when your standard deviation is
Yeah.
small, the the distribution tend to be compressed, slim, narrow, not wide. So it measures how spread It measures the degree to which your data spreads from the center. That's what variability
Okay.
is. Okay.
Okay.
Then the third statistical measure is called the measure of position. Measure of position. Measures of position. That's where you have ranking, ranks. That's where you have things like um, quartile or quantile.
Okay.
Quantiles.
Yeah.
Like first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile, or percentile. Where
Okay.
uh,
Percentile.
yes, all those kind of measures. Those kind of measures are called measures of position. Okay.